Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Cocoa Beach, Florida for the 9th annual Thunder on Cocoa presented by Superboat International. As you can see, not the most ideal weather here today in Cocoa Beach. Much like the east coast of the United States, it's been raining nonstop for about 7 days. So pretty much rain all day yesterday, rained all morning this morning, and we have finally gotten rid of the rain, but as you can see, haven't gotten rid of the wind and rough water conditions. We did just hear from Race Control a few minutes ago. The race boats will be coming out of the harbor here shortly, and we will get our first start underway. In the first start of the day, we're going to have Superboat Stock, Superboat V, Manufacturer Production 3, and Manufacturer Production 4. Now, I can tell you the laps for this race have been cut in half. So we went from 11 laps down to 5 laps. So most of these classes in the first race are going to run 5 laps. You are looking at about 5 to 6 foot waves out there, peaking at just about 8 feet. So it is pretty rough here. And John and Dina Carbonell and the Superboat International staff has taken that into consideration here for the first race in Cocoa Beach, Florida. You're watching the 9th annual Thunder on Cocoa Beach, live from Cocoa Beach, Florida. We're going to take one quick break before we come back to go live for the race. Once the boats come out of the inlet here, we will go live for racing. Check, check. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we know there has been a pretty significant delay, and we want to thank you for sticking with us since about 12 o'clock when we originally thought this race was going to start. We are waiting for boats to come out of the inlet. Because of the conditions we have here, it is pretty rough in the inlet where they're going to be coming out from Port Canaveral, so it's taking just a little bit more time than we expected. We're getting the course cleaned up currently, and again, we do apologize for the delay. We appreciate you sticking with us, and we hope to be racing here shortly. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Cocoa Beach, Florida for the 9th annual Thunder on Cocoa Beach. I wish I could say it's a beautiful day, but it's not a beautiful day. It's cloudy, somewhat damp, and windy. But we're going to have a boat race anyway. The boats have made their way out of the inlet. We do understand there was a turnboat, I think, that was having an anchor issue, so we're trying to get that resolved, and hopefully we will have a start. We are significantly behind schedule, but as I mentioned in the introduction, we are going to cut the races in half, so from 11 laps down to 5. All of the classes in this first race, which I'll go over in just a minute, are going to be 5 laps. In the first race, or the first start of the first race, rather, we're going to have Superboat Stock. In the second start, we're going to have Superboat V, Manufacturer Production 3, and Manufacturer Production 4. That'll all be in the first race. The second race of the day will be Superboat, Superboat Extreme, and Superboat Unlimited. And again, those laps will be cut in half as well. We'll review those when that race comes about. Let's run through the Superboat Stock lineup to start. We have boat S1, Frank and Jimmy's Propeller, Gary Ballou, Jimmy Harrison on board. We have S8, CR Racing, Rob Understall and Casey Boaz. A brand new boat to the fleet, boat number S17, Team Allen Lawn and Landscaping. Remember, this was a team that ran Manufacturer Production 4 last year, took the World Championships in Key West, and built a brand new super stock to come out and race against the other boats in this class. Another new boat this year, S42, Jackhammer. That's a boat actually out of Australia. The participants out of Illinois are Reese Langham and Brad Wade. And our good old friends Ryan Beckley, boat S111, Reliable Services Group, Ryan Beckley and his driver Tanner Lewis back on board after Tanner had a baby last year, so he missed the season, but good to have Tanner back in that boat as well. We did have a last-minute entry, that's S12 Deep V Cat, so they will be starting in this race also. In Manufacturer Production 3, we have Second Amendment USA, the 30-foot Spectra, with Carl Steger and Neil Woby on board. We have P33, formerly known as the Developer, now it's known as Wix Filters, Scott Brown and Ed Tamarino. We have P350, Dollhouse, with Clyde Petty, Mike Green, and Robert Bryant. We have P476, Daniel Rakes and Andy Miller in Too Cruel, and we have P477 in Yabba Dabba Doo. Last but not least, in the Superboat V class, we have boat V1, LSB, Hurricane of Awesomeness, Revex Oil. Boat number 2, BoatFloater.com. Boat number 29, Buy the Keys. Boat number 51, Sunprint. Boat number 88, TNT Racing. And boat number 700, Sheriff Lobo. Sheriff Lobo, the boat from Trinidad that did start in Key West with us last year, but did suffer some gremlins during the course of the week, so they weren't able to run as well as they'd hoped, but they're going to make a ploy for it for the 2018 season. So as we get ready to go for racing here, we're going to wait to see orange smoke again with these conditions. It's going to be kind of hard to see this stuff, so you'll have to bear with us. We do have a brand new production crew from RKG Marketing on board also, so they're learning it as we go along, so please bear with us. But we're trying to do the best we can. We would like to welcome you to the 9th annual Thunder on Cocoa Beach Superboat Grand Prix presented by Superboat International. Give a shout out to John and Dina Carbonell for having us back again. All the race producers here in Cocoa Beach, Florida, once again have done a fantastic job despite these adverse conditions they have faced pretty much all week. So again, all the boats in this start are going to run 5 laps, and I've just got word that we're under yellow flag, so that means the boats will be coming up on a plane, and then we will start. Well, this is ocean racing at its best, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to see it. You're going to see a lot more of the bottom of these boats, I think, in the air than you will see in the water. I think for the Superboat V, it's going to be a really, really interesting race in Superboat V. Superboat Stock looks to be fun. Allen Lawn Care Landscaping, how they handle this rougher conditions. Also, Jackhammer, we'll have to see how they do out here, and then Manufacturer Production 4. And our first start will be Superboat Stock. And it looks like, from what I can see, the boats are starting to line up for their start. The pace boat will be on the beach side. And the pace boat will come up on plane. They'll get the boats up on plane. I imagine it'll be a pretty quick green flag drop simply because of these conditions. But look how rough it is. And we have a green flag. We're going racing in Cocoa Beach, Florida. This is Thunder on Cocoa Beach. And the rooster tails come up, Superboat Stock. Now, I won't be able to tell who's big air there already. One big hop all the way to the inside. Not sure who that is. But these boats will actually disappear in these swells. We're looking again at about a 5 to 6 foot wave with an 8-foot hole out there. And these boats are pretty much running kind of into a southeast wind, so it's going to want to carry the boats a little bit further. But it's going to be save the equipment today. This is some of the worst conditions we've seen in Cocoa Beach in quite some time. Remember last year, I think it was actually a little bit calmer than this, and which was a little weird for Cocoa Beach also. But now it's definitely rough, which Cocoa Beach is known for. And they're going to come across what will be the finish line here momentarily. You should see that yellow buoy. Still hard to tell who is in the lead, but it looks like FJ Propeller on the inside, CR Racing on the outside. Maybe CR Racing in the lead, FJ Propeller, they're 1 and 2, and then we'll have to see who shapes up behind them as they come down in front of our broadcast booth here at the DoubleTree Hotel. It's definitely CR Racing because I can tell by the color of the boat, and it definitely looks maybe like FJ Propeller on the inside. They just crossed the start-finish line, but these boats just not able to get their speed up at all, simply because of the conditions. But look at them just rolling all over the place. That looks like Allen Lawn Care Landscaping. Big hop there by CR Racing. They stood it up in the breeze. That's what these catboats are going to have to be careful of. Remember, they pack air under the tunnel. And when they pack that air, if they catch a puff like that, a puff of wind, then it can lift the boat up quite a bit. And it can be a bit of a hairy situation. So that's Allen Lawn Care Landscaping. It looks like they're in third. They're side by side with Reliable Services. They're closest to your screen. CR Racing, they are currently in first, I think. FJ Propeller. And it looks like CR Racing has now taken the lead. There they are, but look at Reliable Services trying to make a move on the outside. Can the skater take the advantage today in this rougher water? CR Racing and Reliable Services 1 and 2, but look at the rookies. Team Allen Lawn Care Landscaping. They are pulling up alongside FJ Propeller and may make a pass. CR Racing gets back around Reliable Services. Top 4 boats here, all within a rooster tail length of each other as they come in front of our broadcast booth. But again, nobody really running some speed, but we have a Superboat V start. Let's go back to that. Boat number V1, LSB Hurricane of Awesomeness, Revex Oil, they are in the lead. It looks like Sunprint is in second. And just waiting for, and then maybe Sheriff Lobo in third. And then Manufacturer Production 3, it looks like Wicks Filters is in the early lead. Not sure where Second Amendment is, but these conditions today will definitely favor a V-bottom over a cat, and you can just see that as how they ran down the beach. As we look back up the course, there is boatfloater.com. You're also looking at Dollhouse, so that's a Superboat V entry and a Manufacturer Production 3. We'll swing down to turn number 2, or I'm sorry, turn number 1. This is on the south end of this course. And you're looking at Wicks Filters. They are your leader in Manufacturer Production 3. And as we go through the turn, it looks like FJ Propellers was able to take the lead away from the rest of the Superboat stock class, but LSB Hurricane of Awesomeness has found themselves in a very precarious position because they actually caught this Superboat stock class. So again, the conditions favoring a V-bottom over a cat. Britt and Ronnie had to lift going into that corner. I lost them for a second, but they should be able to come right back out. FJ Propellers is now in the lead. CR Racing in second. Looks like Reliable Services in third on the inside. And just out of our screen, you'll see V1 LSB Hurricane of Awesomeness Revex Oil. They are your leader in Superboat V. And they have checked out from Sunprint. As we're looking at FJ Propellers, currently first place in Superboat stock. Now Reliable Services is in second. And I have lost CR Racing. CR Racing is down on the outside of the course. The boat looks okay, but they have stopped. FJ Propeller in the lead. Gary Ballou, Jimmy Harrison, the veterans, as I called them last year, and I think they liked it. In second place now is Reliable Services. Third place, Team Allen Lawn Care Landscaping. They are Bill and Andre Allen in a brand new Doug Wright hull, rigged by Performance Boat Center out at Lotto, Lake of the Ozarks, Missouri. Glad to see those guys out here and glad to see the Superboat stock class growing here in Superboat International. You're watching the 9th annual Thunder on Cocoa Beach. And it's not very thunderous out there today, but it is plenty rough. It is going to be a test of the equipment. As we come back around, there is FJ Propellers. They are your leaders in Superboat stock. That should be boat V1 LSB Hurricane of Awesomeness RevX Oil, your leader in Superboat V, and then Reliable Service is currently in second place in Superboat Stock. They round out the two classes. I did not see Second Amendment make the start, so Wix Filters currently leading in Manufacturer Production 3. And I have not seen any Manufacturer Production 4 boats out here also. I'll peek out into the somewhat windier conditions, and I do not see Manufacturer Production 4, so not sure what's going on there. We'll wait for word from Race Control if they came out. But you're looking at Superboat Stock. That's Wix Filters. And here is Jackhammer. They are the boat from Australia, or the boat was bought rather from Australia. A different looking design if you got to see it in the pits, a much wider cockpit, but they are running the same Mercury 300 horsepower engines. That's the Superboat Stock class rule. They all have to run Mercury 300 horsepower Mercury outboard racing engines. Most hulls in the class right now are Doug Wright. Reliable Services is a Skater, and Jackhammer, I'll have to find out exactly what the make of the hull is, but I do know that boat is from Australia. Again, running all Mercury 300 horsepower engines. As we go back up to turn number 2, now this is at the north end of the course. Let's see what's going on up here. FJ Propellers is in the lead. That looks like V1 LSB Hurricane of Awesomeness, who were your leader in Superboat V. So again, you can see these varying conditions, or how the conditions favor a V-bottom. V-bottom like a knife, so they're able to cut through it, plus they don't get that pack of air up underneath of it to lift the boat. Ronnie and Britt, man, look at that little boat go. They rolled over on their side down into a swell, but they've got that thing running really, really good. Remember, LSB Hurricane of Awesomeness RevX Oil had an incident with Boat Floater last year on the last day in Key West, Florida, where they actually collided going through turn number 1, also known as the wall. I know Britt spent all winter long trying to fix that boat. Hey, here's one thing you can do, folks. You can check us out on all social media outlets. How about Facebook? How about Twitter? How about Instagram? Those names that you see on the right-hand side of your screen will come up during the entire broadcast, so make sure to follow Superboat International. Also, you can go to superboat.com, follow the points, follow the schedule, and pick out your favorite teams in Superboat International Racing. You're watching the 9th Annual Thunder on Cocoa Beach here in Cocoa Beach, Florida. Wish it was a sunny day down here in Florida, but unfortunately it's not. As we go back to the racing action, that's FJ Propeller. They are your leaders in Superboat Stock. Now this looks like V1 LSB Hurricane of Awesomeness RevX Oil. They are your leader in Super... Whoa, big hop there. Looked like they were going to stuff, but I think they just went down into a hole. There are some really, really deep holes out here. Britt and Ronnie yesterday in testing talked to them. They had a fog issue on their windshield because of the humidity in the air and the temperature in the cockpit. The windows were actually fogging up, so the team, I think, put some ice next to the blower ducts this time. But big hop there again. Boat sounds good. Boat looks good. Britt actually repainted a whole boat over the winter after that incident with BoatFloater.com in Key West. But they are your leaders in Superboat V. And that will complete one lap down for Superboat V. And then we have your leader in Superboat Stock, FJ Propellers. Now, to give you an idea how these conditions are favoring these two boats, Britt's boat will run 91, 92, maybe 93 miles an hour on a completely flat day on a really tall setup. Gary's boat and FJ Propellers should run buck 10, buck 15, maybe even over a buck 20 on a really good day. So that's a pretty big speed difference, but you can see how these conditions are leveling the playing field here in Cocoa Beach, Florida. As we look at some of the rest of the fleet in Superboat Stock, remember, this is a race of simple survival out here. You have to finish to win it, and finishing it today will allow you to win this race and take the victory here. Reliable Services still in second place in Superboat Stock. Allen Lawn Care Landscaping currently in third place as they head up the beach. Here in Cocoa Beach, Florida. Sheriff Lobo is in third place in Superboat V. And then we have Wix Filters, the lone Manufacturer Production 3 boat out here after Second Amendment. I take that back. Let me rephrase. 3 Dollhouse entry is still out and running. So it's the 2 V-bottoms of Wix Filters and 3 Dollhouse Racing. Currently 1 and 2 in Manufacturer Production 3. Reliable Services was in second place in Superboat Stock. Team Allen Lawn Care Landscaping, they were trying to chase him down in third. as here is FJ Propeller. They are the leader in Superboat stock. And they have lost some ground to Superboat V, but they don't have to worry about catching Superboat V. It's two different classes here in Superboat International Racing. As we watch FJ Propellers, here is Jackhammer, the Australian-built boat, and we'll have to see who is behind them. It looks like BoatFloater.com. They would currently be in fourth. So all of the boats now just completing their first of 5 laps. So for these newer teams like Jackhammer, they just want to kind of go out and, well, they're really not prepared to run in any of these conditions. Nothing can prepare you for this if you're a rookie, for sure. But if they can go out there and finish, that's a win in their book today, to be able to go out and finish here in Cocoa Beach, Florida. There's your leader in Superboat V. They are boat V1 LSP Hurricane of Awesomeness. Revex Oil actually have led since the start. Sunprint is in second place, but they are about a half a lap down, maybe a little bit more. Not quite a half a lap as I look out the door here. Starting to rain here just a little bit in Cocoa Beach, Florida. So any team that doesn't have some cool air going through their cockpit in these canopy boats could have a potential fog issue, simply because of the rain, the temperature in the cockpit, and the exterior temperature on the boat. Reliable Services is in second place in Superboat stock. And I was looking for Team Allen Lawn Care Landscaping, but I do not see them. Team Allen Lawn Care Landscaping is down outside of turn number 1. They are off a plane. Really tough day for Bill and Andre Allen. They were running really good for being their first race in the boat, but it was just so incredibly rough out here. We'll have to see what happens. And that's 3 Dollhouse Racing right there. They are currently in second place in Manufacturer Production 3. And again, all of these boats are completing their first of 5 laps in Cocoa Beach, Florida. You're watching the 9th annual Thunder on Cocoa Beach. Some big air racing here. If you want ocean racing, if this is what everybody online talks about, well, they got it today here in Cocoa Beach. Don't forget to follow us on Superboat.com for the schedule and all the race teams' points standings. We'll be in Michigan City the beginning of August. Always look forward to going up there. Michigan City, a great place to go if you have a chance to visit. Very beautiful area, but Cocoa Beach, also beautiful, even when it's conditions like this. Hey man, you're at the beach and you're down on the ocean, so it's beautiful here as well. Don't forget, you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all social media accounts, and you can watch us live on YouTube via live stream. You're watching the 9th annual Thunder on Cocoa Beach, and we look at turn number 1 here. That looks like BoatFloater.com in Superboat V. They currently sit in 3rd place, and that is Jackhammer in Superboat stock. They would be, I believe, in 4th place because CR Racing did get up and running. So Casey and Rob got that dug right going. This is coming into their 2nd year of racing in Superboat International and Superboat stock. Allen Lawn Care Landscaping still down outside of turn number 1. Back to the leaders, though. Superboat V, LSP Hurricane of Awesomeness, Revex Oil, and FJ Propeller. This will be completing lap number 5. Now, there is a possibility that Superboat International could wave a checkered flag early if they deemed it unsafe by the Coast Guard. Remember, all these events are Coast Guard permitted. Coast Guard is sitting in race control right now, monitoring the situation as we go. We are under a delayed start here, unfortunately, just because of the weather. But I know John and Dean are in race control, and they're going to push to get the 2nd race out off as quickly as they can. Have to give a shout out to Kerry Bartlett, Kevin Pruitt, and the entire staff at Thunder on Cocoa. They've just done such a fantastic job. They had a block party here on Friday night. It was a fantastic time if you made it down there. Just a really great weekend here in Cocoa Beach. Always glad to be back. And just a really neat area down here as we look at your leaders in Superboat stock. That is FJ Propeller, boat number S1, Jimmy Harrison, Gary Ballou. And right now they are just cruising. It looks like, in fact, just barely even on a plane trying to get around this course. This is 2nd place in Superboat V. This is Sunprint. Remember, these boats are completing lap number 2. As V1 LSP Hurricane of Awesomeness, Revex Oil continues to lead. So in rougher conditions like this, these smaller boats are really going to have to worry about their outdrives. This is really going to be a throttle man's race because of getting that boat to hop in and out of the water. Now, I can tell you, Britt's tucked his boat in quite a bit more than the last time by. Britt and Ronnie actually tucked that boat in quite a bit, and you can see it's not flying quite as much. Oh, well, we do get, 2 big hops right there, 3 big hops as they dove down into the wave. Big air there, look at that. You got to see the black bottom of that boat there. So that's what I was talking about. That's what Ronnie's going to have to do. He's going to throttle out, throttle back into it, and try and save that outdrive as much as possible. I know that boat is running a Drive Guardian also, so that is going to help them. As coming into view now, this should be FJ Propeller, boat number S1. Your leaders in Superboat stock. This is Reliable Services. They are currently in second place in Superboat stock, and then you have Wix Filters, the 38-foot fountain. Wix Filters, a new sponsor this year, and Scott Brown, Ed Tamburino, and JP Larkin actually telling me that Wix Filters is celebrating their 75th anniversary. So congratulations to them. We would like to welcome them to the world of offshore powerboat racing. They're getting quite the introduction here in Cocoa Beach, Florida to rough water racing. But that 38 fountain, built to run in conditions like this, that's Reliable Services just to the inside of them. Reliable Services currently in second place in Superboat stock. Ryan Beckley, Tanner Lewis. Tanner, after taking a small break last year, back this year. Good to see him around. Didn't get to meet his baby this weekend, though, unfortunately. I know he's in town, but hopefully we'll get to meet him shortly. As we take a wider shot, we have seen some fans actually come out on the beach here, and I know the VIP tent earlier was getting a little bit crowded, so it's good to see the participants coming out, or the spectators, rather, coming out and watching these races. Wix Filters not sounding the best as they head in front of our viewing area. Do hear a pop and a slight miss. So in conditions like this, really anything can happen inside these boats. A plug wire could fall off. They could ingest a little bit of water into the engines. There's just a lot of different variables here. Again, you have to finish to win it. Sheriff Lobo is getting ready to go around Reliable Services. Reliable Services looks like they've gone into protection mode in second place, and that is A-OK. Remember, all of the results that we will tell you at the end of this race are unofficial until the Superboat International tech staff can tech these boats. They check them for weight, they check the engines and other rules to make sure there are no violations. Now, this is CR Racing. They currently are now in third in Superboat stock. Remember, they went down outside of turn number 1 after an issue. Not sure what happened, but they were able to get back up on plane. And Team Allen Lawn Care Landscaping, they are actually idling down the course on the outside. So it looks like Bill and Andre Allen are out of the race. Tough day for them. First race in the brand new Doug Wright hull. But you can guarantee that boat will head back out to Missouri and they will get it figured out and they will be a threat. But this was just a day of survival. They knew that they were going against guys that had more experience in rougher water, especially in a cat. And running a cat in these windy conditions, very, very hard. Our second race today will be Superboat Unlimited, Superboat, Superboat Extreme, all coming up in the second race, which was scheduled to be at 2 o'clock. It is currently 1 o'clock, and we have just wrapped up lap number 2. So I think there will be a little bit of a delayed start, but we will do our best to keep you informed of what's happening. There's the Wix Filters entry. They are leading in Manufacturer Production 3, and I am looking for Team Dollhouse. They were in second in Manufacturer Production 3, but I don't currently see them. So it wouldn't surprise me if some of these teams came out here, ran a lap or two, and then went back in simply to just save the equipment, get the points for the start. You're not going to win or lose the championship at the first race, but not starting and not getting the points for starting would definitely have an adverse effect on your season. So everybody out here trying to do the best that they can with what they've got. And again, it's a game of survival. Looking back towards turn number 2. So that's up towards the Kennedy Space Center, Cape Canaveral. That's just up to the upper left-hand side of your screen. That's what makes this area so cool, is to think about the history that's here. And you can see it a little bit better, clearer day, you might be able to see a little bit better, but unfortunately the weather is preventing that. As we look up the course, hard to tell who that is right now. But we'll see as they come down. Now, these boats, that's CR Racing, they are heading into turn number 1. Give you an idea how rough it is. That's a 90-foot motor yacht to the right of your screen, and you're seeing them rock side to side. So I would make some recommendations to have some good amount of Drambuie on board, because there might be some seasick people out there today. You're watching the 9th annual Thunder on Cocoa Beach, coming to you live from Cocoa Beach, Florida, a Superboat International production. Don't forget, follow us on all major social networks, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We'll have one more race today, That will be at 2 o'clock. 2 starts, actually 3 starts in that race, 2 starts with combined groups. Superboat Unlimited, Superboat, and Superboat Extreme. I do look for Superboat Unlimited to have a really fun day out here. But not a lot of those boats got to test yesterday, so that's going to make things a little bit harder. So the boats that are coming around now, this is going to be completing lap number 3, so we should have 2 more laps to go in this shortened race. And it looks like it's 3 wide racing. And I'm trying to see who it is. Again, the clarity is just not what it could be today. I think 3 Doll House just pulled to the inside. Oh, but something's happened in Superboat V. That's Sunprint now in the lead on the inside. That's FJ Propellers. And now LSB Hurricane of Awesomeness is in 2nd place and have lost a lot of ground. We'll have to see what happened. We could only hope that Britt's boat, after all those repairs over the course of the winter, is holding up to these very rough conditions. But that boat is slowing, and slowing fast. We hope we didn't jinx them with a drive problem or a drive guardian problem. But they are slowing quickly. Not sure what's happening there. Hopefully we'll get a text update from anyone of their team letting us know what's going on. Again, in these types of conditions, anything can happen. A plug wire can come off, a hose can come off, a wire can break, anything when it's this rough out. So hopefully they can keep it together, but they are slowing quickly on the course. Your new leader in Superboat V, though, is Sunprint. Steve Miklos, Steve Furman out front. If there was a pretty strong rivalry in Superboat V, it's between these 2 boats of Sunprint and LSB Hurricane of Awesomeness RevX Oil. But look at those boys run that boat. This is what Britt and Ronnie looked like last time by, to give you an idea of what happened to LSB Hurricane of Awesomeness RevX Oil. Tough day for them. Hopefully they can keep the boat up and running in order to be able to finish in 2nd place. FJ Propellers just behind Sunprint. They are your leader in Superboat Stock as they head into turn number 1. That's at the south end of Cocoa Beach, Florida. And I did see Team Dollhouse go by, so they are currently 2nd place in Manufacturer Production 3. As we look back up the course, that's Wix Filters. They are leading in Manufacturer Production 3. Sounded like a mechanical issue when they came by last time, but looking better. But as I hear Britt's boat just out of my view, not sounding good, LSB Hurricane of Awesomeness RevX Oil. Tough day for them. There's Wix Filters. They are leading in Manufacturer Production 3. And Reliable Services should be in that group. It's getting pretty tough for these V-bottom boats out here also, just because the wind is giving them so much resistance. It's actually pushing a lot back on the boat. The Superboat Unlimited and Superboat class coming up in our 2nd race, they're going to have to be very mindful of these conditions. Those are even bigger catamaran hulls, MTIs and skaters here. The one lone V-bottom in the class, Lucas Oil. I know Nigel Hook and Jay Bartlett are going to be looking for these conditions out here. This is going to favor them tremendously. Look at what these V-bottoms could do in these smaller boats. And Jay Johnson in Silverhook Lucas Oil. So Jay Johnson and Nigel Hook, this is what they want to see, though. This is their type of conditions in that 48-foot Silverhawk entry. So there is Wix Filters. They are currently your leader in Manufacturer Production 3. Scott Brown, Ed Tambrino. Both sounding a little bit better, but right now their crew probably telling them, hey, you've got plenty of a lead. Hey, it's really rough out here. Just save the equipment. And just out of your view was FJ Propellers. They are your leaders in Superboat Stock. They are behind Sunprint, who took the lead away from LSB Hurricane of Awesomeness RevX Oil, who you'll see just come into your screen. They are still running, so whatever's happened, it's not completely dead yet. So hopefully Britt and Ronnie can keep it together, because Sheriff Lobo will come into your bottom of your screen any minute now, and they are currently in 3rd place in Superboat V. But Sheriff Lobo not sounding good either. So again, these waters taking its toll on these boats. Attrition, always something to think about when it's rough like this. But everybody wants ocean racing, and that's what you're getting here. True, good ocean racing. You're watching the 9th annual Thunder on Cocoa Beach, coming to you live from Cocoa Beach, Florida, a Superboat International production. As we are going to wind down our first race of the day. And our second race is going to be Superboat Unlimited, Superboat Extreme, and Superboat. Now that looks like CR Racing. I do see a boat headed off of the course. Not sure who that is. They are up and running. But again, you know, if these guys were just getting beat up too much, they may just say, hey, you know what? We came out here, we made the start, we'll get our start points, and then we'll head back in. And I know that was discussed briefly at the drivers' meeting this morning. Thanks to all the local businesses here in Cocoa Beach that support this event. I'm not going to list them all off, but I will forget them. But you guys know who you are, and it's been fantastic down here once again. A great race site. Superboat International, I know, enjoys coming here, and we're thankful to be able to have this race. You're watching the 9th Annual Thunder on Cocoa Beach, coming to you live from Cocoa Beach, Florida, a Superboat International production. So now on the backside of the course, this is Wix Filters actually getting ready to put its competition a lap down. But that Larry Smith Scarab hull of 3 dolls is just a bit too small. It's only a 30-foot Larry Smith Scarab hull as compared to Wix Filters, which is a 38-foot fountain canopied boat. So they are going to put them a lap down. So basically what that would mean is that if Wix Filters broke, then 3 dolls would have to go around them once and then round them again to be able to take the lead back and get first place. We did not see Second Amendment come out of the harbor, so not sure what happened to Carl or Neil. They are usually an odds-on end class favorite here in Manufacturer Production 3, but not sure what happened. Here is Sunprint. They are currently your leader in Superboat V after getting around LSB Hurricane of Awesomeness Revex Oil, who appears to have some sort of mechanical issue. That's FJ Propeller on the inside. I do believe that's Hammer Time, so they're going to get ready to put Hammer Time a lap down. But remember what I said about that boat is that they just have to finish it today, and if they finish it, that will be a victory in their book. And it would be in my book also, in a brand new boat. Jack Hammer, sorry, not Hammer Time, Jack Hammer. The Superboat stock entry, that is the black hulled boat, again powered by Mercury Racing 300 XS outboards. There is FJ Propellers. FJ Propellers did not have a good start to this race. In fact, they had a battle on their hands with CR Racing, and then Allen Lawn Care Landscaping and Reliable Services both got up there in the mix. But attrition has gotten to attrition has gotten to Team Allen Lawn Care Landscaping. Reliable Services currently still in second last time by. So this is completing lap number 4. On to lap number 5. So if I am correct in my calculations, and everybody knows they're 110% accurate, this should be the end of race number 1 here in Cocoa Beach, Florida. But then most people know me, know my calculations are probably not that accurate. So we could have one more lap to go after this. I guarantee, like we've seen at some other Superboat International races, people are known to run one extra lap. You're not going to see extra laps out here today. Nobody wants to be out here in this any longer than what they have to. But there is Sunprint. They are currently your leaders in Superboat V. As you look at CR Racing, I think they might be in second place now in Superboat stock. I have not seen Reliable Services come by, and I do not see them. So FJ Propellers in first, maybe CR Racing now in second. And I'm not sure what's happened to the rest of our Superboat stock entries, whether they've dropped out or what's happened. Jackhammer is still out there, that black hulled boat. This looks like Wix Filters, the 38-foot fountain, Scott Brown, Ed Tamburino. They are leading in Manufacturer Production 3. There's that boat, the black hulled boat out of Australia, running in Superboat stock. And again, if they can finish it, I would consider that a win for them today. Boat number S42, Jackhammer, Reese Langham and Brad Wade on board that black hulled entry. FJ Propellers is your leader in Superboat stock. Reliable Services, who was in second, appears to have dropped out. We have not seen them come by. Unfortunately, because of these rougher conditions and lower visibility, it's hard to see everybody and know where everybody is. Now, my real concern is where is LSB Hurricane of Awesomeness Revex Oil? They got out to such a great start in Superboat V, and I have not seen them come by, but they still are on the course. As I look out the hotel room here, they're going to get ready just to start the cross the finish line here in Cocoa Beach. You're watching the 9th Annual Thunder on Cocoa Beach, coming to you live from Cocoa Beach, Florida. a Superboat International production. Thank you to John and Dina Carbonell for allowing us to have another great season under their leadership, the 2018 season kicking off here in Cocoa Beach, Florida. We'll go to Michigan City, Indiana next. After Michigan City, Indiana, we will head to Clearwater, Florida. That will be the national championship event. And then obviously Key West, the Key West World Championships. 3 days of racing, 7 days of a great time hanging out down in Key West, Florida. If you can make it down, be sure to come on down because we have a lot of fun there. So that looks like Reliable Services now. So they are still up and running, and I believe that is Sheriff Lobo, who would still be in third place in Superboat V. I'm not sure where Reliable Services is going to finish out of all of this, though, because it's gotten a little confusing here, second, third, and fourth place in Superboat stock. Remember, Team Allen Lawn Care Landscaping, that brand new Doug Wright, went out early after a great start. What an impressive start by the rookies. It was really fun to see them doing that. But they were unable to keep the boat together, so it will head back to Missouri, get the repairs done, and you can guarantee by the time we go to Michigan City, they will be a force to be reckoned with. But you know, Michigan City is not a cakewalk race either. As our viewers may remember, a few years ago, they actually had to cancel the Michigan City, Indiana race because it was so rough. Now, it is on a lake, but because the lake is just so big, when the wind blows from a certain direction, it just tends to get really, really rough. But Michigan City, Indiana, our next stop on the 2018 Superboat International schedule. Now that is RevX Oil, LSP Hurricane of Awesomeness. They are currently second in Superboat V, so what's ever happened to them has not taken them out of the race yet. So they want to maintain that second position. Remember, all these results you see here will be unofficial. Until the boats are teched, weighed, measured, and the rules are enforced. Wix Filters currently in first place in Manufacturer Production 3, but unfortunately just not sounding good. They may be starting to take it a little easier on the boat, just trying to finish. So if we can actually get down to one of the pace boats with our camera, we may see a checkered flag. There is the boat from Trinidad, boat number 700, Sheriff Lobo. Trinidad, actually a very, very popular location for offshore powerboat racing. A lot of the boats from America make their way down to Trinidad. If you remember Aquamania, the former 50-foot turbine-powered Mystic, that has currently made its way down there. The older Miss Geico Platinum Hull has made its way down there. So a lot of boats from here go down there to race. And it's very popular down there. They'll have their great race coming up here shortly, just towards the end of August. So I just got a text update from one of our fans. I think Ryan is still in second place, and CR Racing has gone a lap down. We would like to thank you for that update. Again, it's kind of hard for everybody to see today. We have to give a shout out to all of our volunteers. All these people that come out and bring their boats out for these divers and for the rescues and for the turn boats and for the start-finish boat, these are all volunteers. They're not getting paid to be out here. And they're hanging out in some absolutely not fun conditions today just because it's so incredibly rough. And I know that the start-finish boat was having an issue with keeping the anchor set. The boat was actually going up and down so much in the waves that it kept pulling the anchor loose, so they were having the issue there. So there is CR Racing. They are getting ready to go a lap down to FJ Propeller. Casey and Rob not having the day they wanted to start the season after they were off to a fairly good start also. Remember, they were deck to deck with FJ Propellers. They slowed on the outside of the course with a mechanical issue. Not sure what's happened there. We'll catch up with them later. Don't forget, you can go to superboat.com for all the results for the schedule and follow your favorite teams. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Search Superboat International on any one of those handles. You're watching the 9th annual Thunder on Cocoa Beach here in Cocoa Beach, Florida. There is Wix Filters, Manufacturer Production 3-liter. Brand new sponsor on side of that boat this year, celebrating their 75th anniversary in business. Wix Filters, welcome to the sport of offshore powerboat racing. You're getting a good introduction today. Here is CR Racing. They are getting ready to be put a lap down by FJ Propellers. These are two Doug Wright hulls. Remember, this was a great battle between these two boats last year. CR Racing actually taking the win in Ohio, and then these boats swapped wins in Key West, Florida for the 2018 World Championship. So FJ Propeller has pulled in. Now, I believe that's going to signal a checkered flag. We'll see what happens. I can't quite make out the checkered flag, and I know our one camera is zoomed all of the way in right now. And again, just gives you an idea of how tough visibility is. So if this concludes the race, then Sunprint should have won Superboat V. LSP Hurricane of Awesomeness Rev-X Oil was still up and moving last time by, so they hopefully will come in second place. Oh, there is Sunprint. Okay, so Sunprint is going to go one more lap possibly here in Cocoa Beach. I don't have my official lap counter. I want to congratulate one of my best friends in life, Mark. He had his baby boy Braden about a month ago. And Mark, unfortunately, unable to come to the races, but he's hanging out at home with his kid. I want to give a shout out to my wife and my son, Shannon and Connor. I know you guys are home watching. I'll be home shortly to hang out with you all. And we also have to give a shout out to a very good friend of mine and a very good friend of the LSP Hurricane of Awesomeness Rev-X Oil, Dr. Marty Oken, a very good friend of the team, a very good friend of mine, having some bad health issues right now. So Marty, if you're watching, we are thinking about you and we're pulling for you, buddy. You're watching the 9th Annual Thunder on Cocoa Beach here in Cocoa Beach, Florida, a Superboat International production. We are wrapping up the first race of the day. Our second race is going to be Superboat Unlimited, Superboat, and Superboat Extreme. That race was scheduled to start at 2 o'clock, but currently being 1:20. The pace boats will have to go back in. The helicopter will have to refuel as they were up a few minutes before this start. So once that happens, we will go racing for the second time here in Cocoa Beach, Florida. Don't forget, go to superboat.com. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for all of the up-to-date information for Superboat International Racing. Race control, probably pretty busy down there, managing all of these assets on such a rough course. But it's been a good, safe day of racing here in Cocoa Beach. Everybody looks to be finishing sunny side up. Today we'll call it cloudy side up nonetheless, just because of the weather. But everybody finishing and going home, that's what we're interested in have happening. And we have the absolute best safety staff in offshore bowerboat racing with Sean Steinhardt, our new rescue coordinator, and Dr. Bill Blass. He is our new medical coordinator for Superboat International. So there have been some staff changes over the season, but everything seems to be going off quite well considering the adverse conditions. I do think the seas may be laying down just a little bit. We knew there was going to be this lull about mid-afternoon. And it was funny talking to Nigel Hook in the Lucas Oil boat, who'll be coming up in our second race, the lone V-bottom in Superboat Unlimited. He said, it's funny, Mike, you know, it may lay down a little bit tomorrow for our race. And he says, you know, that's going to happen right when our race happens. Of course, he would favor these rougher conditions over the cat boats, as you saw in our first race with Superboat V and FJ propellers. The difference between the V-bottom and the catamaran. Okay, we're wrapping up our first race here in Cocoa Beach, Florida, as these boats come across the start-finish line. That looks like Sheriff Lobo, maybe Wix Filters in there, and Reliable Services. Now, this should put Reliable Services in second place in Superboat stock. CR Racing currently in third, as Team Allen Lawn Care Landscaping went out with a mechanical issue. Now, Jackhammer may come in third. It's kind of hard to say because I'm not sure at what point, if they have lapped CR Racing or not. We'll have to just wait till we get our official results. If you want to come by and you live in Cocoa Beach, Florida, come by. The awards are at 6 o'clock tonight at the Hilton in Cocoa Beach, Florida. All right, you're watching the 9th Annual Thunder on Cocoa Beach, coming to you live from Cocoa Beach, Florida, a Superboat International production. And everybody's pulling into the middle of the course. So this should wrap up our first race. Of course, we will stay live until all the boats have finished. So we have CR Racing and Hammer Time out there. We also have LSP Hurricane of Awesomeness, who is still running. Of course, not running fast. They did have some sort of mechanical issue. And I can tell you right now, that is a miserable ride for Ronnie and Britt inside of that boat, because the boat is just not flying, and it's actually just beating around quite a bit. It'll be interesting to see if they had visibility issues like they had yesterday in testing, or if the ice idea worked in front of their blower vents. Some of these boats have air conditioning inside of them. A lot of the boats coming up in the second race, I know WHM will have air conditioning. I know Wake Effects has air conditioning. Geico has air conditioning. Lucas Oil Silverhook, also air-conditioned boats, so they won't have the fog issues like these littler boats will. But these little boats are very sensitive to weight, so they don't want to run the risk of putting an air conditioning unit in there and messing up the balance of these boats. That's LSP, Hurricane of Awesomeness, Rev-X Oil. They are currently in second place in Superboat V. Sheriff Lobo was in third. And again, just have to finish the race here in Cocoa Beach. and that would be considered a win by anybody. Let's see if these conditions lay down. I thought they were just a bit, but now the boats have come back by, and it just doesn't look like they have nearly as much as I was thinking. Yeah, and our 90-foot turnboat there is still rocking around quite a bit. So this looks like Sunprint, so this should be the checkered flag for Superboat V. Sunprint, your unofficial winners, and LSB Hurricane of Awesomeness RevX Oil in second place, as they are running south now towards Miami, down along the beautiful beaches here in Cocoa Beach, Florida, and then in turn number 1, they turn and head north. So this is a east to southeast wind, I would say. Probably gusting still about 15 to 20 miles an hour. So it's not really going to be a head sea. It's not going to be really a trailing sea. They're going to run in what's called the trough. And what I mean by the trough is when you saw these boats disappear in and out of the waves, you would actually see some of these smaller boats go down, and you'd lose sight of them for just a second. And just like right there with Sunprint, they actually fall down in the trough, and you actually lose sight of them for just a second, and then they pop back up. So that means they're still running a side sea, waves coming directly at the side of the boat. Not a head sea, not a trailing sea, but they're just rolling along these big rollers here in Cocoa Beach, Florida. You're watching the 9th annual Thunder on Cocoa Beach, live from Cocoa Beach, Florida, a Superboat International production, as we are getting ready to wrap up our first race. This is Sunprint. They were in second place for most of the race in Superboat V, but then LSB Hurricane of Awesomeness RevX Oil had to slow with some sort of mechanical issue, giving the lead over to Sunprint and giving them the win. Remember, all these results are unofficial until our chief inspectors have done their job to make sure all the boats are abiding by the rules of their class. Manufacturer Production 3 and Manufacturer Production 4, we did not see Manufacturer Production 4 come out. There were 2 boats in that class, Too Cruel and Yabba Dabba Doo, and they could have just decided between the 2 of them, you know, we don't have any reason to go out there and hurt the equipment. Obviously, it was going to be a 1-2 race, so we'll see how that pans out with the Superboat International staff and race control with the referees later today. There is CR Racing. Rob Understall and Casey Boaz, they slowed earlier with a mechanical issue. Then they did get going again. I can tell you these outboard motors have what's called Guardian. You've heard me talk about it before with the bigger Mercury Racing engines in Superboat Unlimited. But these motors also have Guardian, where they're going to sense an overheat issue or a water pressure issue and shut the motor down to half power in order to be able to save it. So CR Racing heading back into the pits as we are getting ready to wrap up our first race here for the 9th annual Thunder on Cocoa Beach. Now, I know LSB Hurricane of Awesomeness is headed down the course, and Jackhammer was still out also. Those were the last 2 boats to run. Now, it'll be interesting to see if Superboat International tells them the inlet, or if they're going to make them make the turn and come back up the beach to cross the start-finish line. Now, we are a Coast Guard permitted event, so we are a little bit held up on time. So we have to make sure we get that second race off so we can fall within the Coast Guard permit. Go to superboat.com, follow all your favorite teams and the schedule, and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You've seen the handles pop up to the left-hand side of your screen throughout this entire broadcast. So there's Jackhammer. They are going to come around that turn. So that looks like it's Instagram at Superboat International. Superboat International, look like Superboatin' International, but I'm trying to read as best I can. Not often an easy thing to do for me. There is Jackhammer. They are currently coming across the start-finish line in Superboat stock. So I think this boat will come in 4th place. So that would make FJ Propellers first, Reliable Services second. And right now it's between CR Racing and Jackhammer, who will come in 3rd place. Obviously a tough day for Bill and Andre Allen, Allen Lawn Care Landscaping, the brand new boat based out of Missouri put together by Performance Boat Center. I know one of the Performance Boat Center staff was on hand to help them with the boat, so they're going to have to go back, figure out what happened, and see what goes from there. But I guarantee you by the time we go to Michigan City, they will be a force to be reckoned with. And I expect to see this Jackhammer boat to do a lot better also. Remember, you're going to come out in your first race and run in conditions like this. You got to give them props for just going out there and doing it, because it's not an easy thing to do for a team that's just brand new. But wow, look at just some of those rollers out there. Now, these boats have to be really careful when they slow, because these waves are breaking probably 50 to 100 yards out. so they do not want to get caught in one of those breaks. As you can see, the rest of the fleet headed back to the pits to get put back up on the crane. And I will hope that all of the team members of these crews have some Advil and possibly cold water waiting for them when they get out of these boats, because they're going to be some sore boys as they head back in. You're watching the 9th annual Thunder on Cocoa Beach, coming to you live from Cocoa Beach, Florida. We are wrapping up our first race. As always, we stay live until the last boat has crossed this start-finish line. Now, I know LSB Hurricane of Awesomeness Revex Oil also will need to cross the start-finish line. I'm not 100% sure where they are right now. It doesn't appear that they're coming through the turn anywhere. So this is Hammer Time, or Jackhammer has crossed the start-finish line. Maybe I just think of MC Hammer when I see this boat. Maybe that's why I keep calling it Hammer Time, but it is actually Jackhammer. Again, a boat built out of Australia. All right, so we'll do one more quick pan to the course. Let's see if we see LSB Hurricane of Awesomeness Revex Oil anywhere. And it doesn't look like it. Can't tell if that's them there or not. But again, you can just see how hard it is to see what's going on in these conditions, especially these littler boats. Hopefully when they come out for the second race, the bigger boats will be a little bit easier to see. Second race scheduled to start at 2 o'clock. I imagine it's going to be late by at least a half an hour, if not possibly a little bit more. But once we hear from race control, we will come back live and give you some sort of an update. We were privileged yesterday enough to go through the pits and catch up with some of the teams, talk to Randy Swears, James Shepard, Steve Curtis. We're going to have some interviews we're going to play for you during the intermission. So don't go anywhere. Grab a sandwich, grab a snack, grab a beer. Come back and watch Superboat International Racing. You're watching the 9th annual Thunder on Cocoa Beach, coming to you live from Cocoa Beach, Florida. Second race scheduled for 2 o'clock, but again, we are under a delay, so it may be a little bit closer to 2:30. But once we know more, we will update you. Thank you for watching the first race, all our viewers and fans at home. We hope you got to enjoy it. Thanks to my production crew for a great first race. We look forward to the second. James Shepard, driver for Miss Geico. James, 2018, Cocoa Beach, a notoriously rough race site. What are you guys expecting?
We've got 2 days before the actual race, so it's the weather today, tomorrow is quite similar, but it's going to be rough. It's the first race, it's the opener, and it's going to be rough.
Your world championships coming into, or world champion coming into 2018, expecting to repeat?
Yeah, today we're not going to win the championship on the first race, nor on the first bend. So today is about or tomorrow for the race, a good solid position. We'll be very happy in the top three, bring everything home in one piece, learn from it. It's a rough race, so it's going to shake the order up a bit.
Glenn, out here for the 28th season, tell us about the expectations for tomorrow.
Well, we're really hoping we have, calm seas, obviously. Not the 5 to 6 footers, what they're calling for, but hopefully the boat will do great. We've got a new motor program this year, and we're really excited about that with KPE Racing and Crowder Cams. We just got a lot of big things coming up for us this year that with the Konica Minolta coming on board, MGI Digital Technologies. So we just got a lot of expectations that we hope transpire into good luck.
Randy Swears, throttleman for the MGI Digital Technologies Konica Minolta entry. Randy, a lot of changes for this season for you. Tell us about some of them.
Yeah, well, first of all, the sponsorship. It's a mouthful there. It's MGI Digital Technology, which they're out of Melbourne, Florida, so right close by, and we've also partnered with Konica Minolta. We've also got our sponsors from previous years on board, the AutoNation Cure Bowl and AutoNation, and we've done a lot of changes in the off season. We actually this year we thought we were going to do some testing early a couple of months ago and really get the boat dialed in, but unfortunately the first time out and doing some testing we broke a crankshaft, so that cut our testing real short. But we got some new engine power in it. We've got Keeter Performance Engineering out of Texas on board with us, and dyno wise made some cam changes, just looking for a little bit different power curve than what we had before. So every boat's different. So in this class, you got horsepower and torque, so you got to have the right combination of both. You can make all the horsepower you want, but these boats also need torque to get them out of the turns.
Steve Curtis, throttleman for the Miss Geico boat. Steve, brand new year. Tell us about some of the expectations from that 113 boat.
Well, the Geico team's been working real hard over the winter to get it sorted out. We were pretty close in Key West. The boat was running real good in Key West, and obviously we came away with a win, so we were very happy. But this season's a new season, and Rusty's out there. He's going to run real hard in wake effects. We know he's going to be our main competition. And reliability is another thing. The guys have been working really hard. I mean, it's an incredible team, the Geico team, and I hope we're going to be able to push it out there. With this weather, it's going to be, I hope we just make it to the start line.
Talk to your fans on the live stream. A lot of Miss Geico fans out there, and you're fairly new to the team. Tell us about how it's been for you and all the Geico fans.
Well, it's incredible, the support for the Geico team. I mean, it's wherever you go. If you wear a Geico shirt, everyone knows about it. And Scotty, I spoke to Scotty Begovic about it, last night, and he said he wasn't really missing it right now, but, I think Scotty will miss it one day and maybe have a bit of a comeback, but it's, it's an honor and a privilege to race for the Miss Geico team, and mate, go on, I'm really enjoying it and really enjoying the support we're getting from the fans, etc.
1-1-1-1. Joe getting ready to go live. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 9th annual Thunder on Cocoa Beach here in Cocoa Beach, Florida. The weather is actually starting to take a turn for the better. I saw a shiny thing come out of the sky a short while ago. Maybe that's called the sun. Kind of an unusual thing to see down here, but we're glad to see it nonetheless. There you see on your screen, those are the big boats coming out of the inlet towards Port Canaveral. So we have Superboat Unlimited, Superboat, and Superboat Extreme taking place in this second race. Right now, currently, we are about 25 minutes behind schedule, which is not bad considering our earlier start of the day was almost 40 minutes behind schedule. But we're glad to be here. We're glad you're watching live on superboat.com. Don't forget, you can keep up with all your favorite teams, the schedule of events, points, all sorts of good things on superboat.com, and follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All right. The big boys have come out to play. The water we thought was laying down just a little bit, but it appears it has kicked back up. We knew there was going to be a lull, so I expect good things out of Lucas Oil Silverhook at this point. It's a V-bottom boat, and I think they're going to be able to run real good in this rough water. So let's see what Geico, Jesse's Ranch, Wake Effects, what these boats have for Lucas Oil Silverhook. The lone V-bottom in this class. And then Superboat, WHM, and MGI Technologies, Konica Minolta. Sorry for the tongue tie there. New sponsor for that 44 MTI. And then boat number 5, WHM Motorsports in Superboat. And then the lone boat in Superboat Extreme will be AMH Construction Instigator with Anthony Smith and Aaron Hope on board that boat. Now, as everybody's going to get in their mill, the first start in this second race will be Superboat Unlimited. The second start will be Superboat and Superboat Extreme. Now remember, we talked about cutting the laps in half earlier during the first race. So Superboat Unlimited is going to run 8 laps today. Superboat will also run 8 laps, and Superboat Extreme will run 6 laps here in Cocoa Beach, Florida. You're watching live the 9th annual Thunder on Cocoa Beach, live from Cocoa Beach, Florida, superboat.com. This is a Superboat International production, our first race of the 2018 season, and it was a race of attrition the first time out. A lot of boats went down quickly. In fact, we didn't see any manufacturer production 4 boats start. And manufacturer production 3, Second Amendment didn't come out, so Wix Filters was your early leader and led start to finish with $3 in second. In Superboat V, it was LSB Hurricane of Awesomeness, Revex Oil out to an early lead and dominating the race. Then they slowed with mechanical issue, allowing Sunprint to get around. Sunprint unofficially took the win in Superboat V. LSB Hurricane of Awesomeness, Revex Oil was able to keep it together for second, and Sheriff Lobo, the boat out of Trinidad, coming in third. In Superboat stock, it was actually a 4-way battle at the start between FJ Propellers, Allen Lawn Care Landscaping, CR Racing, and Reliable Services. CR Racing was the first one to show some sort of an issue as they came out of turn number 1, but then they got back up to speed. Then the second boat to go down was Team Allen Lawn Care Landscaping, so they went out early on in the race. FJ Propellers came in first, Reliable Services in second, and because of the confusion with the lap traffic as CR Racing and Jackhammer were unclear who came in third. So we will wait for the unofficial results to come up on superboat.com. All right, the race boats are in their mill. That's Lucas Oil Silverhook, the lone V-bottom. You can go to T3 Lemetry, that's T, the number 3, Lemetry.com, and you'll be able to see the telemetry from all 4 of the Superboat Unlimiteds here in Cocoa Beach, Florida. What I mean by telemetry, you'll be able to see their gauges, their speed, their tack, their so on and so forth, and there's a link down at the bottom. You'll actually be able to see Nigel Hook's heartbeat as he's racing around this course. In a rough water race like this, that's going to be very cool information to watch. So don't forget to check out T3Lemetry.com. That's T, the number 3, and Lemetry.com. You can also go to NigelHook.com. There's a link that will take you there as also. There's Miss Geico, your defending world champions, James Seppard and Steve Curtis, in that Victory Hull boat. Remember, they took over last year for Mark and Scotty. Saw Scotty in the pitch yesterday, and I said, how's it feel to be a team owner? And he says, man, I really like it. He says it's nice to be able to sit back and relax, but I'm sure come race time, he probably has a bit different of a feeling. Of course, you have Wake Effects, boat number 17, Rusty Rom, and Jeff Harris. They are your 2016 world and national champions. Unfortunately, last year in Key West, they were taken down because of a mechanical issue. Okay, so we have a yellow flag. So that means the boats will come up on a plane. Remember, Superboat Unlimited, the first start here in Cocoa Beach, Florida for the 9th annual Thunder on Cocoa Beach, a Superboat International production, superboat.com. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as we get ready for our first start of our second race. Superboat Unlimited, Superboat, and Superboat Extreme all in this group. So let's see what Lucas Oil Silverhook can do. V-bottom, rougher conditions. Again, I talked about it in Superboat V and Superstock. Look what Superboat V was able to pull away from the Cat outboards, which are at least 20 to 30 miles an hour faster on their biggest setup. Superboat V was actually able to pull away from those guys in these conditions just because the boats were able to handle this rougher water much better. But a good show put on by everybody. Glad everybody made it back safely to the cranes. May have some mechanical things to fix, but everybody made it back safely, and that's the most important thing. All right, we see the boats starting to get up on plane. Now, again, because of visibility and where we are in relation to the start area, it's going to be kind of hard to see who is who. It does look like Silverhook is on the inside of this Superboat Extreme. We will wait to get a green flag. As the rooster tails come up, I believe they're going to start accelerating. And I think we have a green flag, judging by the start of this race. And we do. We're going racing. Superboat Extreme here at the 9th Annual Thunder on Cocoa Beach. Coming to you live from Cocoa Beach, Florida. That is Lucas Oil Silverhook on the inside. There is Miss Geico. So now have to differentiate who's Wake Effects and who is Jesse's Ranch. Remember, Jesse's Ranch is the Norwegian boat that showed up in Key West. They have also chosen to campaign the entire 2018 season in Superboat Unlimited. But there is Lucas Oil Silverhook. They on the inside. That's Wake Effects next to them. It looks like Miss Geico is out to the early lead with right now the battle for second. Coming down, they've crossed what will be the finish line. Jesse's Ranch on the inside. Miss Geico and what appears to be Wake Effects and Lucas Oil Silverhook. Lucas Oil Silverhook not able to get the start I had hoped for in these rougher conditions, so we'll see how that plays out, and I was wrong. That's Wake Effects on the inside. Looks like they're going to make a pass on the inside of Geico, but look at the big hop there by Wake Effects. Now, Jesse's Ranch and Lucas Oil are pinched in really, really tight to the beach. They have to be careful in there simply because of how those waves are breaking right there on the beach. Big hop there by Jesse's Ranch. Wake Effects in first, Miss Geico in second, Lucas Oil Silverhook in third. Big hop there by Lucas Oil Silverhook just outside of our screen. Now it looks like Miss Geico making up a little bit of ground as we go back for the start in Superboat and Superboat Extreme. Two boats in Superboat, that's WHM and MGI Technologies with Konica Minolta on board. Boat number 33, Glenn Hibbard, Randy Swears, and that's WHM, Jay Muller and Billy Moff, the two lone Superboat entries here. Billy Moff took a big hop there. It actually blew him sideways. Now it looks like he's turned up towards MGI, and he's going to cross over their wake, so he's going to try and get to the inside. But MGI Digital Technologies takes the early lead in the Superboat class here in Cocoa Beach, Florida. As just outside of this view, we hear Superboat Extreme. AMH Construction Instigator, your leader in that class. Wow, look at turn number one. Look how big those waves are out there. We thought it was calming down, and it's not. I mean, these 50-foot boats are standing straight up in the air going through those troughs. So these turns are just treacherous, but look at the speed now. These boats drop down in the trough, and they're able to pick up speed and run northbound here along Cocoa Beach, Florida. You're watching the 9th Annual Thunder on Cocoa Beach, presented by Superboat International, a Superboat International production. Again, thank you to John and Dina Carbonell for another great year under your leadership of offshore powerboat racing. But here is the battle in Superboat Unlimited. Wake Effects in the lead, Geico in second, Jesse's Ranch in third, and Lucas Oil Silverhook, who I really expected some really good stuff from in this rough water race, is all the way back and forth, and it actually looks like they're slowing. So we'll have to see what's going on there as these two boats check out from them. These were the two boats to watch in Key West, Florida last year, and they are picking up right where they left off. Rusty Rahm, Jeff Harris, James Shepard, and Steve Curtis in Miss Geico. There is AMH Construction Instigator, Aaron Hope and Anthony Smith, the lone boat out here in this class. Talked to Aaron at length about this yesterday. Aaron actually bought the former steel boat and will campaign that later on in the season. An unclear date of when it might come out, but it will be out later in the season. Right now, they're going to run the V-bottom Fountain. They are your defending world and national champions also. So Aaron getting as much seat time as he can. Let's go back to Superboat now. This looks like it could be the lead here, or the race here to watch. WHM on the inside. MGI Technologies, Konica Minolta on the outside. Back at our screen, we're watching Wake Effects and Miss Geico, top 1 and 2 in Superboat Unlimited, as they head into turn number 1. Now, 8 laps for these boats in this class, 8 laps for Superboat and 6 laps for Superboat Extreme. Now, since Superboat Extreme is the lone entry in the class, obviously the enforcement of laps may be a little bit not as strict there for that entry. There is Wake Effects. Look like they've made a little ground up, getting away from Miss Geico, but now they're going to have to run back up into the wind. An interesting line out of the turn as it looks like Wake Effects is almost pointed directly at our camera. Now they seem to point up the beach. Maybe they saw a wave or a trough there they didn't want to hit, so they rode it out just a little bit more. But it doesn't look like they lost a whole bunch of ground. But that's Lucas Oil Silverhook in the background, the lone V-bottom. They slowed going up the course, but now look at the speed they've got coming out of turn number 2. Could this be a catamaran V-bottom battle in Superboat Unlimited? I like how this boat's going to run in this rough water. It's very long, it's very narrow, it's going to slice nicely through these waves. But boat number 17, Wake Effects, continues to lead over Miss Geico in Superboat Unlimited. And even though that slight course adjustment that they made coming out of the corner doesn't look like it had much effect on their overall position in the lead. I did get a text a short while ago from my good friend Matt Trulio, speedonthewater.com, and I got word that the open boats opted out of this race. So Too Cruel, Yabba Dabba Doo, and Second Amendment being open canopy boats, they opted out of the rougher water race. So a smart safety decision on their part. Very wise decision. But boat number 17, Wake Effects, they are your leaders in Superboat Unlimited. And look at that boat run. Jeff Harris, Rusty Rom, got it looking good. Whoa, they hit that wave right there in front of your camera. That was a wave that actually broke right in front of them. That's what they've got to be careful of, trying to run right next to this beach, but it hasn't laid down at all. Geico found a trough. They've made up speed. Wake Effects lost a tremendous amount of speed in a bit of a section there. Wow, this is some great racing in these troughs. And Wake Effects almost got in that same position with another breaker there, so they've got to be careful with those waves. Getting word Lucas Oil has now slowed and may be out. And they are down on the course. But here is Wake Effects and Miss Geico. They are your leaders, first and second, Superboat Unlimited. And with Lucas Oil Silverhook out, but wow, look at going in that corner. There is Lucas Oil Silverhook. They are down. What a tough day for Nigel Hook. Great expectations out of that team. I know Jay Johnson and Nigel Hook were looking for a lot, but remember, you can still keep up with the telemetry of these boats. Even though Lucas Oil Silverhook is out of the race, you can still keep up with what these boats are doing. And man, that corner is an equalizer right there. As they turn into these really, really steep waves. Boat number 17, Wake Effects, leads after a pretty hairy section there going into turn number 1. Here is Superboat WHM, boat number 5 in the lead, Jay Muller and Billy Moff. And then you have boat number 33, MGI Digital Technologies, Konica Minolta, boat number 33, Randy Swears and Glenn Hibbert on board. Now, it looked like WHM had a little bit more of a lead than what they had, but look at boat number 33 catching up. As we now look at boat number 17, Wake Effects, they are your leaders in Superboat Unlimited. Oh, Miss Geico has slowed. I just looked out my window. Miss Geico has slowed on the backside of this course and are falling off a plane. Unclear what's going on with them. We'll see if we can get word from race control. They still are under their own power. There they are in the screen. What a shame. They found such a good bit of acceleration when Wake Effects had those issues. And not issues, they just got into a nasty set of water there. But Miss Geico on the outside, maybe just in the Guardian mode, maybe sucked up some water. Who knows? Let's see if they can clear it and get it running. But now Wake Effects is way, way out in front. And Miss Geico actually getting ready to get passed by Jesse's Ranch. So now Jesse's Ranch will be in second place, Wake Effects in first, as Lucas Oil Silverhook barely completed one lap in today's contest. But there is Jesse's Ranch, the boat out of Norway. After not a good, they didn't have a good performance in Key West. Much better here today. As that red Victory Hull heads up towards turn number 2. AMH Construction Instigator continues to lead in Superboat Extreme, as we've already lost 2 boats in this race. Lucas Oil Silverhook out early with a mechanical issue, and now Miss Geico, as I look out the window, is off a plane. So their day is probably done. Back to the battle in Superboat, though. WHM and MGI Digital Technologies Konica Minolta. They were side by side headed into turn number 1, but Billy and Jay were able to prove some experience there and pull a little bit of a lead. A skater versus an MTI Hull. Now normally this is a pretty skater dominated class, so it's good to see an MTI back in the mix. It's good to see Randy and Glenn back. They've taken some time off, but with their brand new sponsor, they wanted to come out and represent. You're watching the 9th Annual Thunder on Cocoa Beach, coming to you live from Cocoa Beach, Florida. This is a Superboat International production. Have to thank all of our Superboat International staff, from race control to registration to our medics to the crane operators. Everybody here has a key role in how these events go off. But today it's all about the racing, and it's all about rough water racing. There is boat number 17, Wake Effects. Remember, Geico, boat number 113, out early with a mechanical issue, handing the lead over to Wake Effects. This was a good race last time by. Remember, Wake Effects hit that roller, or not a roller, hit that breaking wave actually, took some water over the bow, and then they found themselves in a bit of a rough patch. Miss Geico all of a sudden accelerated, made up a ton of ground, but not sure what's happened. This is an MTI Hull, formerly the CMS boat, owned by Bob Bull. And Rusty started campaigning this boat 2 years ago under Wake Effects. Bought the boat last year, campaigned it as 17 Wake Effects, this being his second year in the boat with Jeff Harris. A very, very competitive team in Super Boat Unlimited as they head back down the beach. Now, they have slowed tremendously. I would think that Gene has told them what's happened with Miss Geico and how far back Jesse's Ranch is, and they said, go ahead and save the equipment. Wake Effects did not get to test yesterday. They actually went to the crane during one of the very few, whoa, that whitewater again. So they're really, really close. Oh, there's another one. They're really close to the beach. I would think maybe now they're going to start pushing it out a little bit. That can get the boat very, very wet if that wave happened to just break on top of it. And it could cause some sort of a mechanical issue, but they were able to keep it running. So you may see them push a little bit out off the coast, off of the beach as we head into turn number 1. Look at that breaking wave there in turn number 1. That's the entry buoy you're looking at there. So they're going to turn to that. And then watch as they turn, how this boat will just stand up on its tail when it hits one of these bigger waves. Wow, right through a big wave right there. That was an awesome shot. And look how far that wave is breaking out there right at the entrance to that buoy. Just as we thought it was going to calm down, it hasn't. It's actually gotten, I think, to be a little bit rougher. So remember, 8 laps. I believe they are currently on their 4th lap. As we go back to Super Boat, here is WHM, boat number 5. They continue to lead over boat number 33, MGI Digital Technologies Konica Minolta. The 2 lone Superboat entries here. And Billy Moff got kind of washed a little bit sideways on the start. Remember, he jumped over the wake of MGI Digital Technologies. Not sure why, but I guess he wanted to get back to that inside. But he is starting to open up a bit of a lead over the MTI Hull. That's boat number 5. WHM Motorsports. Billy Moff, the owner and driver out of East Tuckett, New York, and Jay Muller, Lake Hopatcong, New Jersey. Very, very experienced team here. And they put up one heck of a battle last year in Key West for that World Championship. And it actually came down to the last day where WHM had to beat Performance Boat Center and they just couldn't get it done. So you can guarantee Jay and Billy are going to be looking for some revenge this year. And there is MGI Digital Technologies. They are currently in 2nd. And these throttlemen are having to work hard today. These boats handling these conditions much, much better. But look at how MGI Digital Technologies made up some ground there. What happened is they found their way into a trough. They found their way in between these bigger waves, and they were able to actually accelerate a little bit, allowing them to catch up to WHM as they head into turn number 1. Now, this is where we saw the craziness with Wake Effects. Wake Effects is a 48-foot MTI hull. And these are 40-foot skater and MTI hulls, so they're going to be a little bit smaller, but let's watch him enter this turn here. And there goes WHM. He ran it right into the buoy. If you watched our race last year, you remember WHM actually hit a buoy here in turn number 2, which is an infraction, but Billy's known for running it close to the pin. He did just that, and one of his sponsons took out the buoy. So that turn wasn't as exciting as it was last time by with Wake Effects, but it does look like MGI Digital Technologies was able to make up some ground on WHM. And you could almost see right then and there where these boats get back into flatter water and they're able to accelerate and get some speed back up underneath of them. But this is not a smooth ride for these boats. Even though they're 40 feet, they're jostling around quite a bit. You're watching the 9th annual Thunder on Cocoa Beach, coming to you live from Cocoa Beach, Florida, a Superboat International production. Thank you for tuning in at superboat.com. As always, we appreciate our viewers and fans at home as we are just about passing the halfway point of our second race of the day. And this will conclude, once this race is over, this will conclude the racing in Cocoa Beach, Florida. We will do the awards tonight at 6 o'clock at the Hilton Cocoa Beach. And then everybody will pack up and head home. Our next stop will be Michigan City, the beginning of August. And then from there, we go to Clearwater, Florida, and then the World Champion. Clearwater, Florida, we will wrap up our national championship. And then in November, we go back down to Key West for the World Championship. As we look at boat number 17, Wake Effects, they are the leaders in Superboat Unlimited, and I believe the boat that just went out of our shot there was probably Jesse's Ranch. These are the 2 lone boats remaining in Superboat Unlimited after 2 of our 4 entries went down. Lucas Oil Silverhook went down very early on in the race, actually, after I was hoping for a really great V-bottom cat battle. Not sure what happened to them. And then Geico went down just a short while after that. As here comes Wake Effects. Now remember, Wake Effects had been running into some breaking waves as they run along the beach. So it does look like they've gone out just a bit further, and they have done so. Just trying to stay out of those breakers. You just don't want to get caught in that situation. Could swamp the boat if the wave happened to be big enough. But you can see how far those waves are breaking out. They actually have gone a little bit further out. I think the tide may be changing just a little bit and causing that. So now Jeff Harris and Rusty Rahm are going to try and run the boat as close as they can to those breakers without trying to get into them. But I'm sure that Gene has told them, hey, look, guys, you've got a nice lead. Save the equipment. Again, this boat did not test yesterday. So they are running virtually untested today. I know they ran the boat home at Lotto a little bit, but testing on a lake and testing in these type conditions out here are 2 very, very different things. So it's still pretty rough down there, but let's go back to Superboat. WHM, they were in the lead. MGI Digital Technologies, Konica Minolta, they were in 2nd place. Now, last time I saw these 2 boats go by, once again, it looked like Randy and Glenn were able to make up some ground on Billy and Jay as they run back up the beach here in Cocoa Beach, Florida. 2 boats in this class, 2 boats in Superboat Unlimited, 1 boat in Superboat Stream, the AMH Construction Instigator. There it is. Such a distinct sound from that boat. We know some of the viewers wanted to hear a boat go by and make some noise. Well, there's such a distinct sound out of that fountain hull. The exhaust actually comes out the side. On most all of your pleasure boats, the exhaust comes out the back. Well, that exhaust is almost virtually right out of the motor on that boat. And it just has such an amazing sound. As they are the lone boats here in Superboat Extreme. I look forward to what Aaron Hope can do with the steel boat. I think it's going to be very cool. I know he's very excited. They've got some work to do to it. I was in a little bump and run last year in Key West, Florida, so some cosmetic work. And I think they're going to go through the motors and take their time and make it right. But I'm very, very glad somebody bought that boat and very interested to see what they'll be able to do with it. So as we go back to the course, AMH Construction Instigator goes into turn number 1, but here comes WHM. They are your leaders over MGI Digital Technologies, Konica Minolta. And MGI Digital Technologies has actually fallen off the pace quite a bit. But man, they are just hitting some big rollers down here. So remember, it's all about saving the equipment. There is boat number 17, Wake Effects. Remember, all these results are unofficial until these boats have been teched and inspected at the end of this race. So there goes WHM. They are your leaders in Superboat. Now, I'm not sure what happened to MGI Digital Technologies. They actually left our view. There they are. So they've lost a little bit more ground as WHM heads into the corner. Billy Moth, Jay Muller. And they exit turn number 1. There's our 90-foot turnboat 1. And remember, we could tell how rough it was simply because how much that boat was turning. Believe it or not, the blue that you're seeing underneath of that boat is blue LED underwater lights. And that boat is rolling enough to the point where those LED lights are coming up enough for us to see them. So again, pretty rough conditions out here. As we look at WHM, they have pulled quite a lead on MGI Digital Technologies. So now I know Billy's crew will tell them to keep it in check, and they'll monitor the MGI boat. There is Jesse's Ranch, the Norwegian entry. They are currently in second place in Superboat Unlimited. I remember we had 4 boats at the start of this race. Lucas Oil Silverhook went down with just about after a lap, and Miss Geico down just about after 2, not the day that either one of those teams wanted to have. As you look at WHM, your leaders in Superboat, headed down into turn number 2. So they're running north now along the beach here in Cocoa Beach, Florida. You're watching the 9th Annual Thunder on Cocoa Beach, coming to you live from Cocoa Beach, Florida on superboat.com. Don't forget, you can go to superboat.com for all of your racing needs, schedule, points, upcoming events. Get information about the drivers and the teams, tech specs, and all those great things. Superboat.com for all that information. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and you'll see those handles for those 3 social media sites pop up just to the left of your screen. As we wind down our second race here, remember 8 laps for Superboat Unlimited and 8 laps for Superboat. I know that both of these classes are pretty much well past the halfway point, so about 3 to 4 laps probably remaining in both of these classes. And I think Superboat Extreme just went down into that turn also. So if you hear me move a little bit, I'm actually looking out the door here at the Doubletree Hotel in Cocoa Beach, Florida. We are right on a balcony, right facing the ocean. So every once in a while I look out the door, kind of get my bearings on where everybody is. But there's your leader in Superboat Unlimited. Boat number 17, Wake Effects, Rusty Rom, Jeff Harris, putting the exclamation point on the first race of the season after 2 of our boats went down early. Michigan City, August 3rd through August 5th. If you get a chance to head up that way, it's an absolutely gorgeous area. Beautiful lake, beautiful beach. We love getting to go up there, and we're looking forward to going back there again this year. And a great street party that takes place on Saturday night as well. Here is AMH Construction Instigator, the lone boat in Superboat Extreme. And we know that Aaron Hope is trying to possibly buy this boat also. But as I told Peter Meyer yesterday, I said, I don't think I can imagine Peter Meyer not having a race boat. So I think that deal has yet to be 100% complete. But Anthony Smith, man, he's letting it hang out for these fans here in Cocoa Beach. And just listen to that boat go by. Oh, of course, I say that, and then he slows just a little bit. But they also, see, they saw there's whitewater just ahead of them. You can see right where it broke right there, and they saw that. And they wanted to be able to slow down. They didn't, you know, especially in a V-bottom, you don't want to get caught with that wave breaking next to you because it could push the boat sideways, potentially even roll the boat over. So Anthony probably saw that and decided to lift out of it, let that wave get out in front of him, let it go towards the beach a little bit. Remember, on a liquid race course like this, these waves are not in the same place twice. As you get a big hop there by AMH Construction Instigator in Superboat Extreme, as they will head into turn number 1. They were running 6 laps, and it looks like they are going to go all 6 laps here in Cocoa Beach, Florida. As Here is WHM. They are the leaders in Superboat. They had a good battle going with MGI Digital Technologies at the start of this race. But now MGI Digital Technologies has lost some ground. And they just come into your screen right there. There's your second place boat. So that's giving you the idea, first to second place in Superboat. Both of these very, very experienced teams, they know how to run in rough water like this. But Billy was able to get to the inside of turn number 1 first. Or was able just to get to the inside of turn number 1, and he was able to take over that lead from MGI Digital Technologies Konica Minolta. You're watching the 9th annual Thunder on Cocoa Beach, a Superboat International production coming to you live from Cocoa Beach, Florida on superboat.com. Whoop, yep, big little hop there. They also caught one of those pieces of whitewater. So it looks like down that end of the course, the waves are actually breaking out even further. So as these teams go down, they're having to navigate through that whitewater. And just imagine if you're swimming in the ocean, how powerful one of those waves can be. Well, think about how it would push one of these boats sideways. Whoa, MGI Digital Technologies, Konica Minolta, they are down in the middle of the course. They have gotten off of a plane right after that weird hop they took over the whitewater, that breaking wave. So are they out of the race? Now they'll have to go back and make up that buoy if they can get the boat running. That means turn around 180 degrees, go around the entry pin and exit pin to turn number 1 to complete that turn. But that gives the lead hands down to WHM, Billy Moth, Jay Muller. And they're probably communicating with their team on land. If their team knows that MGI Digital Technologies is out, now you can guarantee Billy and Jay are going to go on cruise control for the remainder of this race. As long as Billy Moth doesn't have the bad luck that he had last year of hitting the buoy. AMH Construction Instigator is your leader in Superboat Extreme. And in Superboat Unlimited, it's boat number 17, Wake Effects, after those 2 entries of those 4 boats went out with some sort of mechanical issue. And there is a wide shot of the beach here. And it doesn't look like it's gotten any calmer, but those waves are definitely breaking a little bit further out. So I think the tide is going out and there's a sandbar there, causing that to happen. Here is boat number 17, Wake Effects. They are leading in Superboat Unlimited. This should be very close to their last lap, only running 8 laps here this weekend due to these rougher conditions. John and Dina Carbonell decided this morning to cut the laps in half after the course marshal came in and gave an update on the course. And it's pretty rough. It hasn't changed very much. We're just happy it stopped raining for a little while. In fact, my cameraman just kept walking around saying, hey, it stopped raining. I figured that would be just bad luck for them, and it would, of course, start raining again. But it's been a great weekend here in Cocoa Beach. We'd like to thank everybody that helps put this race on. Kerry Bartlett, Kevin Pruitt, and everybody on Thunder on Cocoa Beach who does a fantastic job down here. This town is very welcoming. Every store that I went into over the weekend, we're just happy to have us here and wishing everybody luck and asking all kinds of questions. And it's great to come to such a receptive town for such a great weekend. And their presenting sponsor, Keltec, I'd like to thank them for continuing to support the event. There is boat number 17, Wake Effects. They are your leader in Superboat Unlimited. Jesse's Ranch in second. But wow, that's a 50-foot boat, and you're even losing it in some of these rollers here in the Atlantic Ocean today. The sea is angry today, my friends, and it has taken its toll. As you actually see MGI Digital Technologies, they are down and off of a plane. One of the 2 boats in the Superboat class here in Cocoa Beach, Florida. August 3rd through the 5th will be our second race of the season, Michigan City, Indiana. Completely different than what we're used to racing down here. Although I can tell you that lake can get pretty rough, but it's a beautiful area up there. We look forward to going back. There's Jesse's Ranch, the Norwegian team. They are currently in second place in Superboat Unlimited. So a good showing for this team after their first race with Superboat being in Key West, Florida. Just not quite the race they were looking to have. Oh, wow, look at Anthony. Got all kinds of sideways there with Aaron and AMH Construction Instigator. But again, with nobody in their class, they're able to take it easy. And I know Anthony is inside probably teaching Aaron how to navigate through this type of water, you know, and steering in and out of these waves to make sure they're keeping that boat straight going into these corners. They were going to run 6 laps today, so it looks like they will run all 6 laps to finish their event. And there is Jesse's Ranch. They are currently second place in Superboat Unlimited. So we have 4 boats remaining on the course at this time. 2 in Superboat Unlimited, 1 in Superboat Extreme, and 1 in Superboat. After some attrition came very early on in this race. We didn't see it this early on in the first race, but this race definitely came on quickly with attrition. Lucas Oil Silverhook going down early, and then Miss Geico going down, taking 2 boats out of Superboat Unlimited. Jesse's Ranch heads into turn number 1. We'll follow this boat through the corner. See how rough it is down there. Again, you can see the white water, so that means those waves are still breaking. As they'll go in, they'll set the boat into the corner. And there's the turn. Hit 1 wave, drop down. And there's the second wave. Not too big, though. Not as big as what we saw before. And here is WHM. They are your leaders in Superboat. Now, as slow as they are going, nothing wrong with them. But they just know that they are the lone boats out there in Superboat. So they can take it easy and save the equipment. No reason to do any more damage to their bodies or to the boat here in these rough conditions. You're watching the 9th annual Thunder on Cocoa Beach, live from Cocoa Beach, Florida, a Superboat International production, as we are wrapping up our second race of the day. After a delay with the first race, trying to get the smaller boats out of the inlet. The inlet was very rough. We talked about it this morning at the drivers' meeting. We were able to get that race off. And now we're on our second race of the day. Number 17, Wake Effects, is your leader in Superboat Unlimited. Second place is Jesse's Ranch. There is Jesse's Ranch right there. And the white water you see in front of them is probably AMH Construction Instigators. Yep, there they are right there. So again, AMH Construction Instigator, the only boat in Superboat Extreme at this event. Of course, that team always hopes that we'll get more boats coming out as the season progresses. And Aaron Hope will get his new to him 388 Skater ready to compete in the Superboat class. The boat formerly known as Steel and owned once by the late J.R. Noble and was campaigned by his son. So here is WHM, the leader in Superboat, boat number 5, 40-foot Skater, Sterling Performance Engines. Now this is a spec class boat, so this boat had to meet a certain weight. It will have to meet a certain weight coming out. They had to run spec propellers, they had to run spec engines, and of course this boat will be teched once it gets back to the pits to make sure there are no infractions during the races. So not over quite yet, and the results, of course, we tell you are unofficial. That's why you'll want to go to superboat.com to see all the official results. Here is boat number 17, Wake Effects. They had a battle going with Miss Geico at the start of this race. Then Miss Geico went out. Lucas Oil Silverhook was trying to make up some ground, found a tremendous amount of speed all of a sudden. But then Lucas Oil Silverhook went down with an issue also. As Jeff and Rusty now come up the beach, they are taking it easy. Now it looks like they've come back in a little bit tighter to the beach. Remember, that kind of got them a little bit, almost got them there, big hop. And you can see now it's it's turned into more of a quartering sea. It's either coming at the front corner or the back quarter of the boat. So that's what you're looking at there, and that's why that boat's kind of hopping up a little bit. It's also doing what's called sneezing, which is where all the air and the water can't get out of the tunnel, out of the back of the boat. It's pressing too much up in there. So it actually sneezes up out of the front of the boat and throws water up over the canopy. But it's nothing bad, it's nothing dangerous, just what these boats do in these type of conditions as they head into turn number 1. They are really tight into the beach again. In these canopied boats, I'd imagine they're kind of maybe having a little bit harder of a time seeing what these waves are doing and picking their lines as they head down the trough. Here is Jesse's Ranch. They are currently in second place in Superboat Unlimited. A great showing for this Norwegian boat. Remember I said at the top of our broadcast you'd have to finish to win it. And that's what Jesse's Ranch is trying to do. Just get through this extremely rough water race. You're watching the 9th annual Thunder on Cocoa Beach, coming to you live from Cocoa Beach, Florida, a Superboat International production. As we are going to wrap up our second race of the day and wrap up the event here in Cocoa Beach. We'll do our awards tonight at 6 o'clock at the Hilton Cocoa Beach. And everybody will head home and get ready for Michigan City, Indiana, coming up August 3rd and 5th. I thought I heard somebody say the producers from Michigan City were in town here in Cocoa Beach. I have not had the privilege of seeing them, but if they are, hey guys, look forward to coming up to Michigan City. As Wake Effects boat number 17 just exited turn number 1, the exit buoy. So we'll explain that now. So in turn number 1, there's 2 buoys. There's going to be one right there. That's called the entry buoy, and then there's another buoy. It's called the exit buoy. And the boats have to be able to round both of those buoys. If you cut one of them off and don't turn around both of them, then you will get a penalty infraction. And it's a little bit harder to do because these buoys are getting lost in these bigger waves. In fact, when we were setting up our broadcast booth here at the DoubleTree, it's very, very hard to see these buoys because they were actually falling down the trough and then popping back up. So imagine looking out of a windshield that's about 12 inches tall and trying to find that buoy. Now, a lot of these boats will have GPS on them, and GPSs nowadays can leave what's called a crumb trail. It's basically a dotted line. So once these boats make a lap, if they're using that type of system, then they'll be able to actually see where their lines are to kind of keep them on track. One thing you do when you race is you pick landmarks, you know, like a water tower or a building or something, and you know that if you come out of a turn, if you've got a ways to go, you'll point at that particular landmark. A little bit harder to do on the ocean, but there are some taller buildings here that you can do that with. There's AMH Construction Instigator. They have slowed on the inside of the course, and there is WHM. They are slowing, so that means they probably have taken the checkered flag in Superboat, one of 2 entries, and unfortunately, the MGI Digital Technologies Konica Minolta entry went out early. Well, actually not early. It was about halfway through the race. They got a little sideways down here as they entered turn number 1, and that took them out of the race. There is Jesse's Ranch. They are currently 2nd in Superboat Unlimited. 4 boats in this class at the start. And what we were hoping was going to be a battle with Lucas Oil Silverhook ended early in just about a lap. Lucas Oil Silverhook got all kinds of speed out of a corner and then went down. And unfortunately, that ended their day. And then it was Miss Geico and Wake Effects, and then Miss Geico had their issues coming out of turn number 1. So attrition today definitely had an outcome on this race. And when it's this rough, that's what can happen. But this was a true ocean race today. And everybody that says ocean racing's where it's at, well, it's very, very exciting, but it can be very, very hard on the equipment also. You're watching the 9th annual Thunder on Cocoa Beach, coming to you live from Cocoa Beach, Florida, Superboat International production. We are wrapping up our second race and final. Whoa! Look at that big hop there by Wake Effects. Again, they're hitting those waves at these odd angles as somewhat quartering sea, and the breeze is catching them and throwing these boats all over the place. We haven't seen these boats do that a lot. Not as much as we saw the Superboat stock class in the first race. But now Wake Effects getting just a little bit sideways out there. Don't forget to go to superboat.com. You can keep up with the schedule, follow all of your favorite teams, get results, follow points, and know everything that's going on in the offshore powerboat racing world. Don't forget you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We'll put those handles up in just a second. There's boat number 17, Wake Effects. So they're going to come back around. This should be their last lap. And these are going to be the remaining 2 boats. We will keep the broadcast going until the last boat is done. 2 boats remain, Jesse's Ranch and Wake Effects. Good day for Jesse's Ranch. Remember, they're just going to have to finish it to be up there in contention. And they were able to do so after 2 boats went down. But Rusty and Jeff now just taking their time, picking their line through these troughs. They don't want to get tossed around too much, but they got a pretty good toss there. And it's hard to believe. That's a 40-foot, that's actually a 50-foot boat. It's over 12 feet wide, and it's just getting tossed around out there like a cork, much like our 90-foot turnboat we've talked about all of our broadcast. As they head down towards turn number 1, there is 2nd place, Jesse's Ranch, all the way from Norway. Great showing for this team. This will definitely build their confidence as we head into Michigan City, Indiana. One Superboat Unlimited entry that was not here was Team CRC Sunlight Supply, and they can always put on a good show in the rough water too. But hats off to Jesse's Ranch, 2nd place. They've put themselves in contention for the national championship title, which we will wrap up in Clearwater, Florida in September. And then we reset everything and head to Key West, Florida for the World Championships. Michigan City is going to happen August 3rd through the 5th, Michigan City, Indiana. Clearwater will happen September 28th through the 30th, and Key West will be November 4th through the 11th. Make your hotel reservations now. Reserve your rental cars. Clear off those credit cards because we're going to go boat racing a few more times this year, and we're very, very excited about it. Wake Effects heads out of turn number 1. Looks like Rusty and Jeff out my window here have gotten a little bit more confident with the boat. They're trying to get some speed out of it. Took a couple big hops there. They've got nothing to prove at this point. Although Jesse's Ranch is really not too far behind them. Jesse's Ranch just going into turn number 1, so less than a half a lap down for the Norwegian team. So that's a good showing for them. And both of these boats do have the Guardian system on them. And in Key West, Florida, if you watched our broadcast, you learned, how sensitive these motors are to that Guardian system. And Guardian mode is supposed to protect the engine from basically destroying itself if it were to lose oil pressure or water pressure or anything like that. So everybody able to keep it going today. Out of these two boats, there's Jesse's Ranch, currently in second. They have the medical helicopter in tow. So that helicopter following them, has 2 divers on board. The point of that is if there's an accident, sometimes the helicopter can get to the boats faster than a rescue boat can, especially in conditions like this, just because it's so incredibly rough. So the diver will deploy if necessary. And sometimes they'll do a demo dive at the end of the event, but I don't think that'll be happening today with these conditions. So we're going to wrap up this race. Should be the last time by for both of these boats, boat number 17, Wake Effects, and Jesse's Ranch. Jesse's Ranch still about a half a lap down here in Cocoa Beach, Florida. Don't forget you can go to superboat.com for all the information for the schedule, for points, everything you need to know about powerboat racing, superboat.com. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And keep up with what everybody's doing. Well, there goes Wake Effects into the turn. And there are the tags for Instagram, Superboat International. Twitter is @Superboat1. I think that's a 1. My screen's a little far away. Producer Daniel's telling me yes. And Facebook, Superboat International Official. So follow us there. Our marketing team doing a great job keeping up with all that stuff. Have to give a shout out to RKG Marketing. They're new this year to Superboat and to helping us do this live stream. Ignacio, or Nacho as we call him, and Daniel have been absolutely fantastic to work with all weekend. They've definitely had a crash course in powerboat racing, and look for a good broadcast, a professional broadcast. Not that this wasn't professional, but we're going to do some tweaking in these coming weeks. And when we go to Michigan City, we're going to be ready to rock and roll in Michigan City, Indiana. Here's boat number 17, Wake Effects. Again, still getting tossed sideways by these rougher conditions here in Cocoa Beach. But this should be his last time by. Let's see if he turns in. And he does. So that wraps up Superboat Unlimited. We will wait for Jesse's Ranch to come by. Remember, all the results I'm about to tell you are completely unofficial until these boats are teched and inspected once they are taken out of the water. You did not see Too Cruel. You did not see Yabba Dabba Doo. And you did not see Second Amendment run today because earlier on, the open canopied boats, open cockpit boats, elected to sit out this race, which was a smart move given these rough conditions. There's Jesse's Ranch. They are second place in Superboat Unlimited. Good showing for these guys. A fairly new team to this circuit, not to boat racing, but to this circuit, and they were able to outlast 2 of the veteran teams between Lucas Oil, Silverhook, and Miss Geico. So they will come across the line for second place. So that will wrap up our second race of the day here in Cocoa Beach, Florida. You've been watching the 9th annual Thunder on Cocoa Beach. We've been coming to you live from the beautiful Cocoa Beach, Florida. This has been a Superboat International production. Our first race of the day saw Manufacturer Production 3, Manufacturer Production 4, Superboat V, and Superboat Stock. In Superboat Stock, FJ Propellers took the win. In Superboat V, it was Sunprint. In Manufacturer Production 3, it was Wix Filters. And Manufacturer Production 4 opted not to race, being an open canopied boat. In the second race, we had Superboat Unlimited, Superboat, and Superboat Extreme. Superboat Unlimited had 4 entries. It was going to be a good 4-way battle, we felt, early on, but mechanical issues took Lucas Oil Silverhook out early, and then Miss Geico went down, so Wake Effects boat number 17 took first place there, and then Jesse's Ranch boat number 91 took second. In Superboat, it was 2 boats. WHM and MGI Digital Technologies Konica Minolta actually shaped up to be a pretty good battle between those two boats, and then MGI Digital Technologies went down with a mechanical issue. And last but surely not least in our hearts, Superboat Extreme, the lone entry with Aaron Hope and Anthony Smith. But they did a great job, put on a good show for the fans who've actually filtered out to the beach here in Cocoa Beach, so it's been a great showing. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching at home on Superboat.com. It's been our pleasure. For Joe, Olslam, Daniel, Nacho, thank you guys very much for the support. We look forward to seeing you in Michigan City. Don't forget, Superboat.com for all of your racing information, and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm Mike Iwaski. It's been a pleasure.